Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers today. Higher education in Henderson. Paul Enos has the rundown.
Pat Miltenberger, the interim president of Nevada State College, will be here to let us know what's going on at that institution.
And on the pundit panel today, Ray Hagar, Dick Gammick, and Mylan Hawkins. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
If you think Wells Fargo is only checking accounts, you're not seeing the whole picture. Online brokerage, mutual funds, mortgages, and home equity accounts. So get more than free checking and start reaching your goals today. Now you get the picture. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
It's the next best thing to having your own wine cellar. Come to the Bonanza Casino for a first and fine dining, reasonably priced wines. When you dine at Cactus Creek Southwestern Steakhouse, you can also enjoy a fine bottle of wine at just about the same price you'd pay at the Vineyard, Silver Oak, Robert Mondavi, Rombauer, Cakebread, Jordan, and Duckhorn, just to name a few. And at the lowest prices of any restaurant or casino in Northern Nevada. And remember, all fine wines are not in wine cellars. They're in the Cactus Creek at the Bonanza Casino, where locals come to play.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we welcome to Nevada Newsmakers Pat Miltenberger. She is the interim president of Nevada State College. It's a pleasure to have you here. We've known each other for a long time and haven't seen each other for a long time. And Paul Enos with the Retail Association of Nevada is going to join me in helping to do the questions here, one of our proud sponsors. I want to start out with, I guess a pretty obvious question. How does the continuing controversy over Nevada State College affect the students?
Well, it's an interesting question because we've just been doing some interviews with students about why they came and why they chose Nevada State, so we could get a picture of what their interests were and what the strengths of the college were. And many of them said, please don't make us merge with another institution, or we like the environment, we like the smallness of the environment, we like the personal attention. So I think they're aware. They're reading the paper, they know that there are controversies going on about the college, but they're also very optimistic, very positive, and very thoughtful in appreciating what they're getting at the college and the faculty that they're working with.
A lot of the controversy is on the funding. Mayor Gibson and Speaker Perkins and others in the community had the land donated and then said that they would raise $10 million to provide the capital expenses, and so far, I believe...
$1 million so far has been...
$1 million plus $2 million from the Chancellor, Jim Rogers, just recently announced. So it's, but that would come after the building would be completed. So there's been a total of $3 million raised.
So why has there been a lack of community support for funding the new college?
Well, I think it's not a lack of community support because the city of Henderson has given us the land on a $1 a year lease extended for 10 years, and with another extension for 10. They remodeled the building for $250,000. They helped us convey from the BLM over 550 acres for the campus. The foundation raised $900,000 before the college opened so that we could hire on faculty early and begin operations. And I think some of that's gotten lost in the $10 million issue. The other question is, should we have asked a state college for its first classroom building to come up with a match like 10 million to 13 million of state funding? If you look across the system goals.
So wasn't that what the Board of Regents said they were going to do?
Well, and I think because a group of citizens thought they could raise that money. But then a number of events happened, including 9/11, and we saw what happened to the economy in Las Vegas immediately after 9/11. So there were a variety of circumstances. Maybe they were overzealous in their support for the college. We don't know. It was a promise made, and it hasn't been kept, and there's no doubt about that. But I think what we're saying now is this college has a purpose, and it serves a need in the state of Nevada.
Well, explain that, because why do we need this third tier?
Well, we have, if you look at the costs of education across this country, research universities cost us a lot more. And when you take the kind of yeoman's work of nurses, teachers, business majors, law enforcement, and you put them in research universities, you're going to pay a lot more for undergraduate education than you would, say, at a Cal State or a Western Washington or a Southern Oregon. Those institutions are teaching institutions. Their faculty only have teaching responsibilities. Their workloads are higher in terms of teaching, and so you're able to actually provide the same baccalaureate education at a lower cost.
Now you mentioned the business college. When you take a look at the programs that are currently offered by NSC, most of them seem to be geared more towards the public sector, towards, like you said, law enforcement and teaching and nursing. Is that something that you're looking on, kind of branching out, kind of like Great Basin had done in Elko when you had the mining industry say, hey,
Sure.
we need mine mechanics?
Yes, what we're doing is we're partnering now with community colleges throughout the state. And we're approved for what you call a Bachelor in Applied Science. And it's a degree that's built upon technical degrees. And it's particularly for people who want to be entrepreneurs or people who want to move up in a corporation. So if they have a technical degree in a field in a community college, what we build on top is a management degree, the second 2 years. And that, I think, is addressing the kind of workforce needs that you're talking about, or entrepreneurial small business needs. So that's our next step.
Are a lot of these folks second career people who are coming from another career and saying, hey, I want to move up in a corporation, or I want to have a change of career, who are coming to NSC?
Yes, we have that. We have two groups. We have freshmen coming in. We have 161 millenniums on campus right now, and then we have the adult reentry student. Definitely people came with, as you know, Las Vegas is a huge in-migration community, and Henderson as well, and so we had a huge influx of adults who had credits from other institutions.
Let me ask, how many full-time students does the State College have?
Well, the FTE, the number that's used for budget purposes, is 750, and we were expected to have 500. That head count is 1,121.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back with many more questions from Pat Miltenberger, interim president of Nevada State College, right after this timeout.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Sunbelt Communication.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Ken Dillon, owner of Van Dyne Roofing, can get it fixed with his eyes closed.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
Oh, you bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, joined by Pat Miltenberger, interim president of Nevada State College.
Pat, the entrance requirements at Nevada State College are lower than the other institutions in the state. Is that something that's going to change as the college kind of gets on its feet and you are getting more of a student body coming in?
Well, the college is intended to be the access college because both the universities, as you know, are going to raise their admission standards in 2006 and then again following that. So the idea of the state college was to come in at a time that the universities elevated their admission requirements. So our intent would be to remain the accessible institution for the state.
But explain the difference between like a community college and NSC. I know that you have some community colleges have four-year programs like Great Basin. So what's the difference?
Well, there aren't that many community colleges in the country that offer baccalaureate degrees. There were 12. I think it's expanded a few. So those are rare institutions. And Great Basin is certainly one that makes sense because of its rural location, relative isolation. It's 300 miles from everything. And as a result, you always have the workforce needs for healthcare and for education and for law enforcement and business in any region. And certainly Elko is a good example. Nevada State College is established to be more like your third tier that you see in California, where you have the University of California, the Cal State universities, and then the community colleges. Community colleges have a multiple mission that includes technical education, vocational, technical, occupational kinds of programs that don't require a baccalaureate degree. The state colleges are for the professional degrees. And then your universities have the multiple mission of research as well as graduate education. And so it creates a nice hierarchy. And then in the mission of Nevada State College, as you noted, there includes a partnership with community colleges so that for those students who start at a community college, Nevada State College would do the second 2 years, providing them with a baccalaureate degree.
Let me ask you about the Ron Remington affair. How much of a problem does that cause for the university system and Nevada State College with legislators, especially like Chris G., who's already been calling for Nevada State College to be rolled into the community college?
Well, it's a complicated issue. I mean, I don't know how much it affects it. I know that CCSN has its own set of issues and problems that have been in the paper recently regarding a number of issues. And I know that Dr. Remington had done an excellent job of making Great Basin, allowing Great Basin the opportunity to offer baccalaureate degrees, and he had some goals for CCSN. Nevada State College came along sort of in the midst of many of those controversies. But Nevada State College had its own driving forces and its own set of issues, and particularly data. I mean, the RAND Corporation came in to the state of Nevada in the year 2000 with the Board of Regents, did a study and said there was a need for 5 to 6 state colleges in the state of Nevada based on population, based on our poor college going rate, and a number of other factors. And so I see them somewhat as independent issues, but they've been meshed. But I don't see that as long-term no matter what you do, a Nevada State College will resurface or surface because there's a need.
But you don't think that there's long-term damage with the majority of legislators at this point?
I don't know. You know, we're going to find out as we move into the session. But I think the AB 203, the Assembly Bill 203 Committee to Evaluate Higher Education clearly states that Nevada State, get over the issue of whether Nevada State should exist or not, because there's support for it to exist.
Are you saying you're kind of the Israel of Nevada?
It feels that way on some days. But I think the Legislative Committee itself had a number of recommendations in there, and one of the recommendations is don't make this institution a branch of some other institution, and that there is a need for a state college in Nevada, a state college system, ultimately, in Nevada. And so I think that whether the legislature will look at its own committee or whether they're going to look at other individual issues, I don't know. We'll find out.
Pat, you're the interim president, so you're only there for this short time. You're kind of playing the fill-in role. How do they go about hiring a permanent college president?
The system has gone to a method of hiring what we call search corporations, individuals who do nothing but find college presidents, and they themselves are oftentimes experienced administrators, and they have contacts and networks throughout the United States, and they will then in turn contact other colleagues and professionals and nominate people, get names of people, and then of course it's nationally advertised. And currently Nevada State's down to 5 finalists that will be interviewed on December 8th.
You're in a unique position here because you didn't apply for this job, you don't want this job, you're happy to take care of it in the interim, but in a short period of time you will be gone from that job. So can you speak freely and say and give advice to whoever's coming in as the next president?
Well, I think my advice is you're sitting on top of a very good institution. I have been impressed with the faculty, I've been impressed with the students and their commitment, I've been impressed with the community. We've gone around we are still trying to raise the $9 million. I'd love for a red satchel to appear on my front door.
Do you think Speaker Perkins and Mayor Gibson could be doing more to help raise that money? They've done a lot already, but could they be doing more?
They have done a lot, and they've been very supportive, and I've met with them both several times, and no, I feel they're right there, and I think they've been supportive and done the kinds of things they need to have been doing. I do think that we will not give up in terms of trying to raise that money till the very last minute that we can. But I feel that whoever comes in as the next president, that this institution is going to grow, it's going to continue to have a philosophy. It has a very unique instructional philosophy.
About 15 seconds left.
Yeah. So I think it's a unique opportunity for someone. Not to say it doesn't have its politics and it isn't going to be a challenge, but
it's a unique opportunity to bring aspirin.
Yeah, bring aspirin.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this. Thanks for being here, Pat.
This is Nevada Newsmakers. When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
Are you ready to experience Reno's ultimate lobster buffet? Then bring your appetite to the El Dorado, where we're serving a half pound of slipper lobster tail for just $5 with the purchase of a dinner buffet. Catch it every night of the week. Are you in?
If you think Wells Fargo is only checking accounts, you're not seeing the whole picture. Online brokerage, mutual funds, mortgages, and home equity accounts. So get more than free checking and start reaching your goals today. Now you get the picture. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, joined by a pundit panel, Washoe County District Attorney Dick Gammick, Mylan Hawkins with the Democratic Women's Club, and Ray Hagar, reporter for the Reno Gazette-Journal. I want to kind of follow up where we had obviously 2 shows with the governor earlier in the week, and kind of wanted to go over a couple of things. Mylan, you had some concerns about the Senior RX program.
Actually, it's not concerns, Sam. It's one of the programs that I feel is just outstanding in the state. I believe we're the only state in the union that has a program like this. It helps seniors who have undue burden with purchasing their drug medication, much higher than the federal standard program, much better than the Medicare program, and it is one of the things that I think Nevadans really have to be proud of, and I really applaud the governor for what he did and the leadership that he took in making this possible. It's a great program.
Well, you know, Sam, I think with the graying of America, that senior issues are going to become so much more important because we're almost all there. You know, so really,
I am.
What's this almost? Well, you're not gray yet.
Take a look in the mirror.
No, but you know what I think is interesting? I remember asking Lynn Atchison why medicine was so expensive in this country, and she said that it was because, you know, of the quality of medicine we wanted, and that's why we were paying these extremely high prices. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see if we as individuals who are not the working poor start to make decisions in our own lives as to whether we can afford the cost of the medicines that are being created and then marketed to us.
You know, Sam, we could get into a whole area of discussion on medicine, which, you know, really will affect all of us and why it is so expensive. Advertising alone from the pharmaceutical companies, if they weren't on television and newspaper ads, etc., might significantly lower the cost. Selling those medicines to people who think they need them, bringing them to market too early. There's a lot of problems with the way we're bringing medicine to the American public, as we've just seen with Vioxx and a number of other pharmaceuticals that perhaps came to market before good research
But you know
was
something,
done.
you know, Mylan, I got to disagree with you there. I think it's pretty rare. I think that, you know, the quality of life that I have with a heart condition has been immeasurably improved by the medications.
I agree, but we do have to take a look that there have been medicines brought to market too soon. Now, compound that with the lawsuits. These are all things that have significantly raised our cost of medicine in this country. We need to look at that in a way where we can get our pharmaceuticals equitably, because this is going to be a growing problem.
Maybe a government negotiation.
Maybe.
You know, Sam, I'm in the same boat you are. I'm taking medications today that make my quality of life a lot better after heart surgery, and I'm not anxious to start importing from Mexico and Canada and any other countries if these drugs aren't pure, if they haven't been tested, if they haven't been proven. And people need to make that choice. If I'm going to be a guinea pig on a drug,
you know,
I want to know that.
You know what? I want to invite you on a trip. I'm going to go to Algodones, Mexico here in the next couple of weeks and buy my year's prescriptions because it will save me thousands of dollars. You come down with me and check it out and see what you think, okay?
Okay.
It's the same stuff.
It's
exactly the same stuff.
If that's the case, then fine.
Yeah.
Then we got a president who's got to work out some issues here.
Absolutely.
Drug companies overcharge us, and the advertising on television, Sam, we've gone through this before.
You want to know something? I know the advertising is huge, but it is a tiny fraction of the profits that they are making. I mean, in any other business, this would be considered incidental. It's only because it's so much in our face that we get upset about it, but it's really the gross profits that the drug companies are making and socking it to the American public because we're paying for all the R&D.
We are, and that has to be equitably straightened out. There is no doubt that there are pharmaceuticals that have not only saved lives and improved the quality of life, And there is no doubt that we will be looking in the future at some very exciting breakthroughs in terms of individually designed pharmaceuticals.
Oh, it's definitely coming.
Yes.
I want to change topics here and go back to, we were talking about the governor. Dick, you wanted to mention Millennium Scholarships and education budgets.
Well, I think Millennium Scholarships have been a grand slam home run in this state. I know there's naysayers. Fine, go mumble. I don't care. He took money from the tobacco industry. He put it into the Millennium Scholarships. I go up and speak at the university. I always ask my classes, how many are here on Millennium Scholarships? You're looking at half the students are there in every class I've talked to. It's been tremendously successful, and I think this state's going to start. We're just now starting to graduate classes and stuff. I think we're going to reap a tremendous profit in this state from them.
In 10 years, I think it will attract a lot more high-tech companies, because in 10 years, these college graduates will have had experience and they'll be ready to really contribute to the high-tech industries.
Right, and there's another plus, and I hate to get this back to health, but the better educated your population is, the healthier it's likely to be. The less likely they are to smoke.
But not necessarily, because you are looking at people living so much longer that you are going to, you're building a whole new bridge out there.
Yes, but when we're talking about illnesses that begin young, from things like smoking, improper diet, not enough exercise, the better education people have.
Do you want to put a date on this? You're thinking like 2050?
Well, yes,
3000?
I think as we look in the long run, actually by 2025, we should be looking at a healthier population.
Well, I don't know. We're trying to legalize drugs now. We're trying to do all kinds of things to make sure that doesn't
Well, we have
happen.
lots of drugs that are legal.
Yes,
it's just
we
not
have
all of
lots
them.
of legal
We'll be
drugs
right back
that are
on Nevada
very
Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Ken Dillon, owner of Van Dyne Roofing, can get it fixed with his eyes closed.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seemed to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
Just wanted to take a moment to welcome all of our viewers in Wendover who can now receive Nevada Newsmakers, and we love to hear from you via email at newsmakers@kvbc.com and newsmakers@krnv.com. Great week this week on Nevada Newsmakers with the governor, lieutenant governor, and we look forward to another wonderful week coming up next week. Hope you'll join us on Nevada Newsmakers.